Still, a Michael J. Fox movie is now streaming exclusively on Apple TV+, and this is not your usual review from me, because honestly, I don't really talk about documentaries a whole lot on here. I watch a fair amount of them, given the subject matter, but seeing as how I'm a huge fan of the Back to the Future movies, as well as Michael J. Fox's performance, and just knowing how he is as an actor and the whole trajectory of his life, this is something I needed to check out, and boy howdy, I'm glad I did. We see a lot of Fox's early life as a short kid from a Canadian army base who becomes the international pop culture darling of the 1980s. Like seriously, this dude was everywhere around that time. The star of Back to the Future, playing Marty McFly, of course, also having a stable stint on the show Family Ties. But that's all to find the course of his life altered by a stunning diagnosis. 2 words: Parkinson's disease. So this documentary is basically following him confronting this incurable disease, but he's an incurable optimist. And you can just sense it. Like, every single time I see Michael J. Fox nowadays, and even when I look back at all of his old films like Back to the Future, Stuart Little even though he was providing the voice for the title character, I loved that movie growing up, and this is a guy that just makes you smile. And his enthusiasm and his love for life is just absolutely infectious. Like, I feel like we should all aspire to have at least half the work ethic and the ambition that Michael J. Fox does. Because he's telling this story about how he was shooting Family Ties and Back to the Future pretty much at the same exact time. He was only getting 3 hours of sleep in a given night. Man, that dude put himself on the map by being a workaholic, and more power to him. He was like, I don't know if this is a fair comparison, but like, you know how Tom Holland is nowadays? You know how Tom Holland was like right after he got the role of Spider-Man and how he just blew up and now he's everywhere? He's in Uncharted and all these other movies like that. Michael J. Fox was pretty much the equivalent of that in the 1980s. And I think this documentary perfectly captures the tragedy of his whole entire situation, but it also uncharacteristically veers away from the tragedy, and it's actually a very lighthearted look at this man's life. Because when you see him nowadays, it's like, man, I don't know if I could really describe my whole feelings when I saw him just talking to the camera in this documentary. But you can still tell that this dude's personality is just like you can't help but love this guy. Even outside of this documentary, I saw a clip on social media where it was at a New York Knicks game live, and it was showing all these various personalities who are sitting courtside. Michael J. Fox was the last person that they showed, and he was sitting there like showing his love for his team. His wife Tracy, who they put over humongous in this documentary. My word, Tracy is a saint. But like, you just see his personality just even in that little moment, and it's so awesome to see that. And I think the documentary does a great job realizing that, yeah, this is a very real human situation. This guy was a superstar a few decades ago, and now he's sitting here. He's going through real life human problems that a lot of people go through. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's at a much younger age than you typically see now. And he's living life to the fullest absolute extent. He's got a wonderful wife, Tracy. He's got 3 wonderful children who also appear in this documentary. This is just something that if you're a fan of this guy, if you're a fan of Back to the Future like I am, this is something that I feel like you should check out. I think the director, Guggenheim, does a really good job intersplicing little pieces of Michael J. Fox in the actual entertainment world. And this documentary is also edited brilliantly because it takes those little clips of Michael J. Fox in something like a Family Ties, and it perfectly weaves it into whatever situation that the documentary is talking about. And I thought it was really well done. Now, like a lot of typical documentaries that you see done like on Vice TV, Dark Side of the Ring does this a lot with the reenactments and stuff like that. You get a lot of those in here, and I think they're handled really well. Is this something I'm going to be rewatching over and over and over again? Probably not. But I think if you're a fan of Michael J. Fox and just a fan of movies in general, this is something that I don't think you guys want to miss. I think this is certainly going to hold its own as one of, if not the best documentary to come out this year. I think the people who put the work into this film should be very, very, very proud of it. I think it tells a great story and a very inspiring story. Michael J. Fox, you're the man. Never stop being you. I'm going to give Still an A. It's on Apple TV Plus right now. If you guys are subscribers, I highly recommend you check it out. Let me know what you thought of it down in the comments section below. What is your favorite Michael J. Fox performance that you've ever seen? It can be Family Ties, it can be Back to the Future, it can be one of the more obscure ones that he did going into the 90s. As always, guys, I love discussing all things in movies and entertainment on the regular over here. If you're a new viewer, do consider becoming a subscriber, and please tap the like button. Really helps with the algorithm and helps get this content out there to more lovely viewers like you. Y'all are the best. Stay tuned for more videos very, very soon. And with all that being said, Back Talk commence.